This video is to go with your markup tax homework. So our objective is I can solve multi-step percent problems involving markups. Let's take a look at number 1. It said a store purchased a DVD for $12 and sold it to a customer for 50% more than the purchase price. So the store purchased it for $12 and then sold it for 50% more than the purchase price. The customer was charged 7% tax when the DVD was sold. What was the customer's total for the DVD? The first thing I would do is do the 50% markup. So I know that DVD, when the store purchased it, $12 represents 100% of the cost of that DVD. The store then sold it for 50% more than that purchase price. So I know that the store sold the DVD for 150% of the original price. So what I would do with my percent equation, I'd say the part that the customer had to pay equals the percent, 150%. We know we have to rewrite that as a decimal or a fraction to use it. So what's 150% as a decimal? 1.5. So that's 1.5 times the whole, whatever that original cost was, and that's $12. That will give me what the customer will pay before tax. That gives me the part they'll have to pay before tax. So let's do 1.5 times 12. And we find $18. So in the store, that DVD is priced at $18, but the customer is charged a 7% tax on the DVD when it's sold. So now we know the selling price is $18, but on that selling price, you have to pay 7% tax. So now our new total is 18%. So our new total is $18. So what's 100% of that selling price? That's $18. And we know we have to pay an extra 7% tax. So on top of that, we have to add on our 7% tax. So now we have to be paying 107% of that $18. So what part will we pay? If I take that 107% and change it to a decimal, that's 1.07. So the part we have to pay is 1.07 times that selling price of $18. And what's 1.07 times 18? That's $19.26. So the customer will actually pay $19.26. Lots of methods to go about this. I chose to just keep adding on my markup to my original price, and then I added on my tax to the selling price. So that's how I went about it. Lots of ways to go about that problem. As long as you came up with $19.26, it means your method was probably valid. Let's try another one. If David bought a computer that was 20% off the regular price of $18.80, so now that's a percentage off. If there was a sales tax added to the cost of the computer, what was the total he paid for it? Okay, so first of all, you add on the sales tax to the sale price. So first we have to take 20% off the regular price. You pay tax on that sale price. So if it's 20% off the regular price, our regular price, we would have been paying 100% for that, but it's 20% off, so I'm going to take off 20%. That means we're still paying 80% in our percent equation. I'll have to use that as 0.8 as a decimal. So what part will we have to pay? 0.8 times the original, or the whole amount, 1080. So what's 80% of 1080? We're still paying $864 for that computer. That's the sale price after the discount. That's the sale price after the discount. Now, your tax is always added to that sale price. So you find your sale price and then you'll have to add on your tax. So this is our new total. So right now, if we were going to pay 100% for this item, it would be $864. So to that, we have to add on a sales tax of $864. So now I take my base, which are 100%, and I add on my 8% sales tax. I'll have to be paying 108%. We know in our percent equation to change that to a decimal, so that will be 1.08. So now I take my new total, my new whole, which was $864. I simply multiply that by 1.08, and that will give me what I have to pay in total for this. So 1.08 times 864, $933.12. And we've discussed in class, there's lots of ways to go about these percent problems. Some of you like to use your tape diagrams. Some of you like to, if you're doing a discount, you like to take 20% and then subtract that from the original. If you're doing sales tax, you like to just find the 8% and then add that on. That's totally fine. This just happens to be how I went about these problems. And what you're really looking is, did I get the correct answer for homework? Then my method was probably totally valid. Let's take a look at one more. Julia's service charge at a beauty salon was $72.60 before tax. The sales tax rate was 8%. If she added 20% of the amount before tax as a tip, how much did she pay at the salon? Okay, so first of all, this one I'm going to look at a little different. She added 20% the amount before tax as a tip. So I'm actually just going to find her tip. I'm actually just going to find her tax. Then I'm going to add everything together. So if I just find 20% of the amount before tax as tip, so that's before tax. So I'm going to do 0.2 times my 72.60. That's just going to give me just the tip. 0.2 times 72.60 gives me $14.52. So that means, oops, sorry about that. That means that she is going to be paying $14.52 as a tip. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Normally for tips, you'd probably leave $14 or $15, but in this case, they want you to leave the exact amount for the tip. Now let's just find her tax. The tax was 8% of the price. So what's 8%? As a decimal, 0.08. That's 8% as a decimal. So then I'll just do 0.08 times my 72.60. 0.08 times 72.60 is, I'm going to say $5.81. You have to, we're talking about money, so I'm going to say $5.81, $5.81. Now to find the total she'll just take the original amount she had to pay, add on the tip, add on the tax, and that's what she'll pay. So we're going to take $72.60, we're going to add on our $14.52, we're going to add on our $5.81, and let's see what we get. $72.60 plus our $14.52 plus our $5.81, we come up with $92.93. That's how much she paid at the salon, $92.93. Again, more than one way to go about that, but that's how I chose. Because of the way the problem was worded, I didn't jump right to adding on my tip and adding on my tax. I decided to find the tip, find the tax, and add everything up at the end. So hopefully that was helpful for tonight's homework. Try to have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.